Dricus Du Plessis has a $10,000 proposal for Chimaev. I'll give you $10,000 every time you can take me down. So what does a fight look like between Chimaev and Dricus if there's no takedown? Are you completely certain that for Chimaev to win this fight, he must take him down? But what if we put it in reverse? Chimaev can't take him down. That's what Dricus is saying is going to happen. Are we sure that Chimaev can't strike with him? Are you sure that in the absence of a takedown, Chimaev cannot beat Dricus Du Plessis?
What happens when a UFC champion bets $10,000 that nobody in the world can take him down? That's not just trash talk. That's exactly what Dricus Du Plessis did. In a bold, almost reckless move, the middleweight champ's coach, Morne Visser, publicly offered $10,000 to anyone who could take down Dricus in training. Not in the cage, not under fight night lights, just in practice. And the internet exploded. Even UFC legends like Chael Sonnen ran with the story. Though he hilariously misquoted it as a challenge to Sean Strickland, still, it went viral. Memes, hot takes, Reddit theories, everyone wanted to know, why would a champion put that kind of money on the table unless he knew nobody could cash it? Because here's the thing, Du Plessis isn't just some striker with decent hips. This guy once submitted 5 world-class grapplers in a single day during a quintet tournament. His wrestling isn't just good, it's elite. His grappling IQ is off the charts. And this bet, it wasn't a stunt. It was a message. And that message was loud and clear. If Khamzat wants my belt, he better come with more than just hype. But here's the twist. What if someone can take him down? What if that someone is the scariest wrestler the middleweight division has ever seen? Stick around, because this beef goes way deeper than a viral bet. They call him Still Knox, but Dricus Du Plessis is far more than a catchy nickname. Born and raised in Pretoria, South Africa, Du Plessis discovered his fighting spirit early, first through judo tournaments at age 12, then as a kickboxing prodigy before he even turned 18. Yet nothing prepared the world for what happened when he stepped into the MMA cage. Before he ever signed with the UFC, Du Plessis was already a 2-time champion in both EFC and KSW, finishing opponent after opponent with relentless pressure and surgical precision. His wrestling defense earned him the respect of grapplers, and his heavy hands kept strikers wary. But it was his gas tank, seemingly bottomless cardio, that truly set him apart. When he finally arrived in the UFC, critics wrote him off as another regional standout unable to survive against world-class talent. He answered by dismantling Trevin Giles, dismantling Darren Till, and grinding down Derek Brunson before the 5th round. Then, at UFC 290, he shocked the world by surviving Robert Whittaker's powerful striking onslaught and unleashing a crushing TKO that left fans chanting his name. That victory earned him a shot at Sean Strickland for the undisputed middleweight belt. In a brutal 5-round war, Du Plessis showcased not just grit, but an evolved skill set, slick footwork, punishing bodywork, and an unbreakable will. When the final horn sounded, he stood atop the division as champion. But Du Plessis fights with more than a title on the line. He fights for legacy. Every call-out, every challenge is driven by a chip on his shoulder. Questions about his toughness, whispers about his game, and doubts about his potential. He's answered them with violence and victory. Now, with Khamzat Chimaev looming, Du Plessis carries the hopes of a nation and the scars of every warrior he's conquered. And make no mistake, this champion isn't here just to defend a belt. He's here to prove he belongs at the very top. They call him Boars, the Wolf, but Khamzat Chimaev fights like a hurricane you never saw coming. Undefeated through 10 straight wins, Chimaev has left a trail of broken bodies and shattered expectations in his wake. Born in the mountains of Chechnya and raised amid the brutality of street wrestling, Chimaev learned early that survival isn't given, it's taken. He fled to Sweden as a teenager, where his relentless work ethic and freakish athleticism propelled him to national wrestling titles. but it wasn't until he stepped into the MMA cage that the world truly grasped his potential. In his UFC debut, Chimaev arrived on fight night weighing 20 pounds over the limit and still decimated his opponent in 8 seconds. 2 weeks later, he returned and finished another man in under 3 minutes. In a single month, he scored back-to-back stoppages, an unthinkable feat in modern UFC history. Then came UFC 308. Facing former champ Robert Whittaker, Chimaev stalked his prey with cold precision. One explosive double-leg takedown turned into a ground-and-pound face crank that snapped Whittaker's mandible, cementing him as the most fearsome wrestler in the division. Beyond the cage, rumors swirl. Some say he'll retire if he finally grabs gold, worried about health and the pressures of superstardom. Others whisper he's merely playing mind games, prepping for even greater feats. One thing is certain. His combination of world-class wrestling, transition speed grappling, and surprising heavy hands makes him a matchup nightmare. As he moves up to middleweight for UFC 319, questions loom. Can he maintain that same ferocity at 185 pounds? Will his frenetic pace burn out over 5 championship rounds? And most importantly, does anyone in the division have the tools to stop a man who's never lost? Boris isn't just hungry, he's starving, and he's coming for the throne. UFC 319 is set to explode on August 16, 2025 at Chicago's United Center, the UFC's first return to the city since 2019. At the heart of the night, a seismic middleweight title showdown. Dricus Du Plessis defends against undefeated challenger Khamzat Chimaev.
This event marks a turning point for both men. Du Plessis is aiming to secure his 3rd consecutive title defense, solidifying his place in middleweight history. Chimaev, on the other hand, is hungry to cement his legacy by capturing gold in just his 15th pro fight, and doing so would complete the kind of meteoric rise rarely seen in modern MMA. A twist no one expected. Whispers are swirling that if Chimaev wins, he might retire immediately. Brazilian contender Caio Baralho recently revealed he's heard somewhere some people saying that if he wins the belt, he's going to retire. The talk isn't just speculation, it's permeating MMA circles, citing concerns over Chimaev's health, the enormous pressure from his homeland, and the financial security he's already achieved. From one perspective, this rumor adds drama, a legendary champion who retires at the peak. From another, it could be mind games, fueling publicity and rattling Du Plessis ahead of fight night. Originally, Nassourdine Imavov was named the official backup for the main event, but he later stepped aside to pursue his own matchup against Baralho. That left the spotlight fully on the main event, though rumors also hint at other big names, like Ilia Topuria, potentially landing on the same card. Across the board, UFC 319 is shaping into more than just a fight. It's a turning point. A champion defending his hard-earned gold, an undefeated challenger potentially walking away from the sport as a legend, and a city buzzing with anticipation. This isn't just another event. It's the middleweight moment everybody's been waiting for, showcasing a variety of voices from across MMA, each with their own take on whether Du Plessis' takedown defense will hold up or if Chimaev's relentless style will prevail. Chael Sonnen argues that removing Chimaev's wrestling changes the fight entirely. What does a fight look like if he never scores a takedown? Implying Du Plessis' grappling edge could be the deciding factor. Joe Rogan cautions that Chimaev's explosiveness could end it early, predicting a potential first-round finish if Boris lands his signature takedown blitz before Du Plessis finds his rhythm. Brendan Schaub and Luke Rockhold both split the difference. Schaub sees Chimaev dominating early with power and wrestling, while Rockhold believes Du Plessis' cardio and durability will swing the championship rounds. Robert Whittaker, a former middleweight champion and common foe, sums it up simply. If Chimaev can overwhelm him with wrestling, he wins. If not, it's Du Plessis' fight to lose. Dominique Cruz highlights Du Plessis' unorthodox striking, stance switches and awkward angles, which could keep Chimaev guessing and prevent the Chechen Wolf from setting up takedowns. Sean Strickland, who's trained with both men, backs Du Plessis to neutralize Chimaev's wrestling and turn this into a striking battle, where he sees the champion having the clear advantage. Ariel Helwani takes a measured view, noting that while Chimaev will roar early, Du Plessis' ability to adapt mid-fight could allow him to exploit any late-round lapses in the challenger's gas tank. Darren Till warns that Chimaev's first-round assault may be too much for Du Plessis to withstand, predicting a quick finish based on Boris's relentless pace. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson points to the championship rounds as the true test. If Du Plessis can survive the early storm, his His toughness and conditioning should let him outgrind Chimaev in the deep waters. Jamal Hill admires Du Plessis' power and unpredictability, but cautions that Chimaev's grappling remains a dangerous weapon, making the outcome anybody's guess. Each expert frames the same question differently. Can Du Plessis' elite takedown defense and evolving striking undercut Chimaev's wrestling barrage? Or will Borza's feral aggression and early explosiveness prove unstoppable? One thing is certain. When the cage door closes on August 15th, 2025, we're in for a collision of styles and wills that few believe will go the distance. Expect fireworks from the opening bell. Chimaev will bring his trademark blitz, explosive double-leg takedowns, crushing wrestling pressure, and relentless ground and pound, reminiscent of his choke that snapped Whitaker's jaw at UFC 308. He's also back under his old coach, pumping intense drills to sharpen his top control and explosiveness. But Du Plessis isn't stepping in blind. He's evolved with unorthodox striking, stance switches, weird angles, and heavy forward pressure that drags opponents into his world. His plan seems simple. Push forward, stuff takedowns, and break Chimaev's rhythm with bruising body shots early on. If Chimaev fails to end the fight in the first couple of rounds, the stage belongs to Du Plessis. His cardio is historic, never fades, and he's notorious for wearing down power-based wrestlers. That's where this fight will pivot. Championship rounds require a different state of mind and stamina. Still, question marks hover. Chimaev's move to middleweight may help his gas tank, but can he sustain that same dogged pace over 25 minutes? And will takedown attempts be successful against Du Plessis' well-oiled defense? On fight night, here's what to watch. Balloned rounds 1 to 2. Chimaev storms forward, lands takedowns, and clamps Du Plessis down. Du Plessis responds by sprawling hard, swinging elbows, and testing takedown setups with judo like dives. Rounds 3 and 4, if Chimaev misses early, fatigue could set in. Du Plessis should find his rhythm, pummeling him with body shots and pace, forcing the fight into deeper waters. Round 5, circle of attrition, endurance rules. This is Du Plessis' playground. Every shot, every scramble, chips away at the takedown threat. But if Chimaev stays relentless, he could steal vital late moments. In short, fast start, wrestling and pressure up front, but the fight hinges on whether Chimaev finishes early or if Du Plessis drags a battered challenger into championship rounds and outlasts him. When the cage door closes on August 15th, 2025, we may see a passing of the torch or a changing of minds about who truly dominates middleweight. From a headline-grabbing $10,000 bet to a showdown of elite grapplers, UFC 319 isn't just a fight. It's a collision of styles and tribes that demands your attention. A champion who pledged cold hard cash, a challenger whose wrestling has broken jaws, and an atmosphere charged with controversy, rumors, and raw ambition. This is the fight fans have been begging for, the defining moment of middleweight history. So here's the million-dollar question. Who walks out the champion? The power of Du Plessis or the Chechen Wolf? Drop your pick in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe. You won't want to miss the real-time breakdowns, late-night analysis, and insider angles straight from Fight Night. This is the drama, the tactics, the raw emotion you won't catch anywhere else.